down to organizational value. And I'm just assuming this is that I think that Seattle, in particular with Mike Macdonald, is going to value a defensive tackle higher than most teams. And because of that, I think Byron Murphy, I've mocked Byron Murphy to Seattle, and I think that's a good location for him because this dude is a hell of a player. He's a 300-pounder. They can run 4.87 in the 40. He's athletic. He can make plays. And from a philosophy standpoint, a mentality standpoint, and a structure standpoint, I think he fits what Mike Macdonald will want to do.
Last two questions for me here, Joel. In 10 years, which of these Huskies will we be talking about in the NFL? Like, yep, that was a home run pick back in 2024. I'd
love to say all three. I mean, shoot. More. I mean, Polk's a good player. McMillan could be the most undervalued of them all because of the injuries, guys. Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, he was. I know Rome physically has always been the most impressive guy, but man, look at the production a couple of years ago from McMillan. It's hard for me to pass on the opportunity to wax about Michael Penix, and here's what I'll say about Michael Penix. It is so rare in our game, Brock, that we cover on a week-in and week-out basis to come across a quarterback who is asked to do exactly what he would be asked to do in the NFL. Normally what we see is teams that have a far superior margin of talent with the good teams, and those quarterbacks aren't asked to sit there in the pocket and read full field reads and attack down the field with leverage and accuracy and timing, more specifically, 15, 20, 25 times a game. We don't see that. We don't see it. What we see are guys with incredible skill sets like Caleb Williams and Drake May, and they create, or incredible teams around them like Jaden Daniels. Think about what he had around him. Or we see a J.J. McCarthy that has a philosophy and a structure around him that allows him to only have to throw full field reads, 5-6 times a game from the pocket. And here we've got Michael Penix. And this dude is asked to sit there and sling it, man. And he did it as well as anybody. He passes the football, not throws. He passes the football down the field as well as anybody. If he goes to the right spot, I do believe Michael Penix can be a quarterback that leads a franchise to a potential Super Bowl. And because of that, and no other reason, I think he would be the one that I would kind of vote for pick of who are we going to be talking about in 10 years.
Then I got to say this, and I've said it to Brock this week. If you're the Seahawks and your quarterback spot is fine but not settled long-term, and you truly believe what you just said, Joel, yeah, maybe he's not the number 16 pick in the draft, but if you get a chance to get a quarterback that you think can win a Super Bowl, screw it. Don't you take him at 16 and just let everything else fall where it may?
Well, of course. And the only reason I didn't do that in my latest mock, which, by the way, comes out, it's out today, Phil Klatt show.
Nice.
Just shameless plug.
Big
Don't
news.
worry about it.
Nice.
It's what us professionals do.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think he's going to be there.
Okay.
I really believe we're going to have all 6 of these guys taken before the Seattle picks.
Which in some ways helps Seattle, right? I mean, like that in some ways pushes good players to them. But let me just ask this. If he's there, you take him at 16?
I mean, I would. I love the guy. Yep. You don't see this. You don't see him throw. Brock, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. This type of skill set does not come around in college football. I get it. He's had some injuries in his past, but the ability to, from the pocket, attack a defense, not just take what the defense gives, not just operate the offense. This dude attacks the defense down the field with leverage. So when I say with leverage, I know Brock knows what I'm talking about, but Salk, let me kind of help you out. The leverage piece means that he's constantly passing the ball, not throwing it, but passing the ball to give his wide receiver better odds than the defender. He doesn't throw 50-50 balls. He throws 60-40 balls. He throws 65-35 passes. So in a lot of ways, these guys' job become much easier because the ball is constantly on the offensive player's side, even down the field, whether he's driving it, whether he's layering the ball, throwing with touch, throwing deep. He does a remarkable job of putting the ball in the exact spot that gives his wide receiver the best chance to make a play.
Is that why you say passing, not throwing? Is that what you mean?
Correct. It's like an entry pass in basketball.
Right.
You always you're trying to throw it down to the post player. You're always kind of like, a little bounce pass away from the defender. He's passing the football, and it's beautiful to watch.